for what's going on. I reset my Wi-Fi and I got kicked off. So I might make someone co-host just in case anything drops. I'm not sure what that does. So, but we're live, but everything dropped on my computer. So.
Okay. If you need to make me a co-host, feel free to do that. So. Okay. All right. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday, March 2nd meeting of the Carrboro Town Council. We'll start out with our roll call that Kathy will do.
All right, I'm going to go in the order that y'all are listed because everything shut down on my computer, so I don't have my normal list up. So, Council Member Jacqueline Gist.
Present.
Council Member Damon Siles.
Present.
Council Member Susan Romaine.
Present.
Council Member Sammy Slade.
Present.
Council Member Randy Haven O'Donnell.
Present.
Mayor Lydia Lavelle.
Present.
Council Member Mayor Pro Tem Barbara Foushee.
Present.
All right.
Okay. And so to start out with, we have our poetry reading. And are you able to see if Fred is in there, Kathy?
He's not.
Okay, we don't see Fred in there yet. So he may make it to us to give us a poem to start out. But if not, we'll just go on ahead. We'll go ahead and go head on with our agenda. And so we have just one proclamation here for tonight. And this is the proclamation recognizing Women's History Month. So I'll read through this quickly. Whereas on February 28, 1980, President Jimmy Carter proclaimed March 2 through 8, 1980 as National Women's History Week. This being followed in 1981 by a joint congressional resolution designating the week of March 7, 1982 as Women's History Week. And in 1987, March became Women's History Month. And we're, according to census.gov, Carrboro, North Carolina in 2019 had a population of 21,190, of which 54.3% identified as female. And whereas since the town's founding, women have played significant roles in Carrboro's economic, cultural, and political development. And whereas in Carrboro's earliest days, while men worked in the local mills, women and girls known as toppers or loopers installed looping machines in their homes, allowing them to support the production of clothing while tending to domestic responsibilities. And whereas in 1975, Ruth West was the first woman elected as mayor of Carrboro. And whereas 2020 marked the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which granted women the right to vote. And whereas according to the National Women's History Alliance, the theme for this year's Women's History Month has been carried over from 2020 due to the pandemic. The theme continues to be Valiant Women of the Vote, refusing to be silent. This theme is intended to honor all of the women, including multicultural suffragists and voting rights activists who, through great dedication and decades of struggle, secured the right for women to vote, as well as for those who continue to work for voting rights and who stand in opposition to voter purges, literacy tests, and other forms of voter suppression. Whereas the efforts of these women should continue to be recognized and honored, and, quote, we refuse to allow their voices to be silenced, even by a pandemic. And whereas Carrboro is proud to recognize and honor the history and contributions of women in Carrboro and throughout the nation, now therefore be resolved, I, Lydia Lavelle, do hereby proclaim 2021 to be Women's History Month, encourage all residents to celebrate this observance, to learn about the important achievements of women throughout history, to find inspiration in the stories of the courageous and steadfast women who fought to achieve equity, equality, and justice, and in doing so, changed the world. So there you have it. So that's our proclamation kicking off this month. So woo, woo, woo. All right, everyone. So we'll head on here now. Oh, good, Fred's here. All right.
Hi.
We'll return to Fred now, who can welcome us, I guess, with a poem. So
thank you. I'm sorry. Hi, how y'all doing? I'm sorry I had a little bit of a challenge getting connected. Speaking of Women's History Month, this book, The Age of Phyllis, this is a poetry book about Phyllis Wheatley Peters, who all of us know, many of us know, is the mother of African-American poetry in the United States. Mm-hmm. And this is written by a woman named Honorée Fanone Jeffers, who's a very well-known award-winning poet. I think she's out in Oklahoma State. Anyway, this is an amazing piece of literature here. This is very well researched. It's a historical poem, swan song of Phyllis Wheatley's life, and so and just so many beautiful poems in this book. I'm going to read one, and this one is called Phyllis Wheatley is baptized at Old South Church. And it's set Boston, August 18th, 1771. Yeah. My body needs fresh light, some calm. I want understanding of water's touch. I think, I know. He requires no more cost. It is mercy chasing me. I must not flee. I remind myself to be free means without and within and lonely. Times through my life is softer than most, and to keep airing my snatched hours would be sinful. Still, Holy Ghost, at last, God, but I must sit in the balcony. Nobody in the sanctuary. A Negro, a New England Christian loves a soul, though not the skin. A lie for a pious man, but truth for the master. We sable rest in secret places. Nobody knows our troubles, our journeys. Despite Jordan's wide swath, I swim to him, the King of Kings. Trickster spirit and bright, hopeful moment. I come upon hosannas. The skies realign in revolution. A bright world stolen like me, dear lords of England. Suddenly, enemies and thunderclaps illuminate the words bright cries. I am dark and blessed, determined. My mother and father, unseen, ask reverence from their Ethiop. My kin, sacraments today. No water keeps glory away. My Sunday hymn, no sin. Now I shall open my eyes. This is an amazing book. Seriously, like, I mean, there's a lot of good writing about Phyllis Wheatley. Skip Gates has a book out, but this book, even though Skip Gates is a beautiful writer, he writes beautiful prose, this is an amazing piece of literature, and I think it's so well researched that you can read this as history and be enlightened in a totally different way. It's called The Age of Phyllis, and her name is Honorée Fanone Jeffers. That's her name right there. So thank you.
Thanks, Fred.
Sure.
I love you kind of teaching us every Tuesday. It's great. It's awesome. Really appreciate that.
It's my pleasure and a blessing to do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fred.
Sure.
All right. Take care. All right.
Lydia
Kathy.
and Fred. Could I get both Lydia and Fred for just a second?
Fred, you still there?
I was just wondering if it would be possible for somebody with better technical skills than I have to go through all these meetings since Fred's been opening them and kind of cut out so that we would have a compilation in one place of all of Fred's poems at the beginning of our meetings. I know I would be spoiled by that, and I think other people might enjoy it too. Is that possible? Or Fred, would you be agreeable to that?
Oh, absolutely. Anything you want. Anything. If I was thinking, I would have kept better track of what I read. But
well, no, Fred. Here's the good news. It's in every minute. It's in every set of minutes. Exactly
Okay.
what poem you read. And
Okay,
so,
cool.
for good, for better or worse. And so
Good.
we've got the list over the last couple of years. So
Okay.
we could look at the old minutes and tell you all those poems and
That'd be great.
get them from you. So
That'd be great.
Or it could be a project for an intern to kind of go through all the videos and cut Fred's readings and put them all together. That's way beyond my technical skills. I'm lucky I can get to the meeting, but
That would be amazing. However you want to use the poems, as long as as long as the poets are credited and all of that stuff, like you can use it however you want. I hope that it would be a really nice archive for the town.
Well, I'll tell you what, let me touch base with Kathy and follow up on that a little bit. Maybe we can talk to Kat Lazorko and figure something out. If nothing else, listing all the poems and everything, because next month is National Poetry Month too. So we can tie it in with that or something. So
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we'll figure it out. So
Okay.
you're
thanks.
such a treasure, Fred. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jackie,
Thank you very
that's a
much.
Great suggestion. Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Okay, so we're moving on here now to announcements of upcoming meetings. Kathy, is your computer back up?
Yes, it should be. It is for now.
Okay.
All right. March 4th, the Carrboro Connects Spanish meeting, all in Spanish, I believe, will be March 4th at 6 p.m. And that's going to be at the El Centro Facebook Live. The Appearance Commission will meet March 4th, 2021 at 7:30. The Environmental Advisory Board will meet March 4th at 7:30. The Northern Transition Area Advisory Committee meeting originally scheduled for March 4th has been canceled. The Planning Board will meet March 4th at 7:30. The Transportation Advisory Board will meet March 4th at 7:30. The Human Services will have a public hearing on March 8th from 6:15 until 8:30. Recreation and Parks Commission will meet March 8th at 7 p.m. And last but not least, you all will meet again March 9th at 7 p.m. So quite a busy week upcoming.
Thank you. And I'm reminded it was a weird year to not have May McClendon bothering us every month to sign up for the St. Paul 5K, because I'm reminded that would have been this weekend, right, folks, those of us that participated in that. So that would have been this Saturday. So hopefully next
They are doing a virtual version for folks who are interested. So please, look
Yeah,
if you want to do that.
I was just getting ready to say that. Thank you, Damon.
Yeah. So participate in that if you can. Hopefully next week it'll be in person again, or next year it'll be in person again. All right.
Lydia, clarification, the EAB will be meeting at 7, not 7:30.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Sammy. Okay. So we don't have any requests from visitors or speakers from the floor. And so we have a very brief consent agenda. And so let's, Kathy, are you going to go through the consent agenda?
Sure. You've got 3 items on your consent agenda. The first is the approval of the minutes from February 9th. I have changes from Siles, Romaine, Lavelle, and then Bouchy with a clarification. Am I missing anyone? Okay. And item 2 is a request to reschedule a public hearing on the permanent closing of a portion of the Maple Avenue right-of-way. That will be rescheduled to April 6th. And then there's a business revolving loan application asking you to approve a $60,000 business revolving loan fund for
Agenda.
Motion by Sammy, second by Susan. All in favor, say aye. Jackie? Susan?
I'm sorry. Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
Me? Aye. Sammy?
Aye.
Barbara?
Aye.
Damon?
Aye.
And Randy?
Aye.
Aye. All right, very good. And then we have one matter on our agenda for a public hearing. Do you want to open us up on that one, Kathy?
Yes, absolutely. I sent you guys an email regarding this. This is a request for a public hearing for a conditional use permit for a watershed residential subdivision at 721 Jones Ferry Road. We are asking that town council open the public hearing and then please continue that until the Tuesday, March 9th meeting.
All right.
To continue.
Okay, so I'm opening the public hearing. Sammy makes a motion to continue, second by Damon. All in favor, say aye. Jackie?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
Me? Aye. Sammy?
Aye.
Barbara?
Aye.
Damon,
Aye.
and Randy.
Aye.
All right, very good. And so
Yeah.
now let's have a motion
Lydia,
to go into closed session.
could I just clarify over email? I understand we were trying to make this a really fast meeting, but if we could discuss the item I mentioned to y'all at the next meeting, whether it be on matters of the board or its own agenda item, I don't have a preference.
Yeah, to be honest, Sammy, I haven't got to read the heart of it. It looked like it was something about advisory board stuff, about selection process or something. And I don't know, Kathy, when our next item is where we're talking about advisory board selection or whatever, but I guess I want to defer to the town clerk and town manager as to whether it's the next meeting or the meeting after that, whatever meeting coming up soon, that something like that could be added. We don't, Kathy?
Yeah, I think we can look at the calendar and get it added to the next available meeting. I think March 9th is pretty booked already. And I'll most likely be bringing advisory board applicants. I'm waiting on reports from the chairs right now, but it's up to, town council to say when you want that scheduled. But if you want us to schedule it for an agenda item, I can definitely work with the town manager to do that.
So I would like it to be before we see the next applicant pool, because it has to do with when we see the next applicant pool. And it's a consequence of the experience of our new policy, and it's a question that I think we need to raise. A major aspect of it is we're trying to diversify our applicant pool. We don't have ethnicity listed, so we're kind of like appointing without knowing people who are signing up. That's why I'd like for us to have it sooner than later. If it's controversial, then we can postpone it till afterwards, but I'm not thinking it's that controversial.
I think it's very controversial.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Lydia. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, thank you, Barbara. No, Sammy, I think it involves a longer conversation maybe than, and I don't even know because I haven't even read over it yet, but I know that, we're hearing from Barbara. She wants to chat about it or talk about it or whatever. I think we'd all want to talk about it. And, so I don't know, we may not be able to address it before we get applications next week. And I know next week is really full. So we know this month's a little full too, because we have another closed session at the end of the month. So Kathy, maybe you can relate this to this Mr. Manager who is not with us tonight, and we knew he wouldn't be with us. He,
Yep,
Kathy's
absolutely.
handling duties. But y'all talk to David about it, and we'll see if there's an opportunity to chat about this later in the month. And maybe Sammy, maybe you and I can talk offline about this later too. So
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I'm glad to hear Barbara finds it controversial. We can. I'm not pushing to have it if it's felt like that.
okay, and maybe you can talk. Well, anyway, we'll talk more about it. I'm sorry, I've had my head full of everything else, and I didn't even get to dive deep into your email. So, all right, so let's so motion then to go into closed session by Jackie, second by Barbara. And the closed session is in terms of, I believe it's employment, but all in favor, say aye. Jackie?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
Me? Aye. Sammy?
Aye.
Barbara?
Aye.
Damon?
Aye.
And Randy?
Aye.
All right, very good.
All right,
So-
I'm going to make my normal speech here, but it's going to be a little more complicated.